Just talk about what made you want to start this company, this nonprofit, Move-In Day Mafia. What was the purpose of this?
Yeah. Well, when I had moved to Atlanta in 2020, I moved right before the lockdown. And I'm a people collector. I'm designed and created to bring joy. So anytime something pops off, I'm looking for ways to make it positive, bring the joy so we all can have a good time. And so I created a virtual bingo game that just kind of took off. Shortly after, we started seeing the graduations get canceled. And HBCU, we in graduation season now. So we know we are a whole different level when our graduations. And I really felt bad for those students who did not get to put the icing on the cake of what they had gone through, what they had survived for 4 years. And we started HBCU Bingo, where we raised over $1 million in less than 4 weeks, and we gave it away to the 2020 grads of HBCUs in a series of epic bingo games. That took off. National media picked us up, and that's where I overheard an interview from one of our grads, and she was explaining that when she went to her HBCU, she had aged out of foster care, and her social worker drove her to campus, pulled up to the curb, and just left her. Until then, I had never thought about what happens to these students. That was not my reality moving into Howard. My mom had doted on me, bought, matching sheets and comforters and made sure I had everything for 3 months. And I thought about, like, what happens to these kids when they go, and on one side of the room, Shamai, there is a group of, family doting on a kid, but then on the other side, there is our kids that barely made it. And I wanted to do something about it. Move-In Day Mafia was born.
Howard, you talk about you're alumni of Howard, the Mecca. They say that's the real HU. What did you learn, or because that in you giving back, I think that's the true culture, not just Howard University, but of HBCUs as a whole. Yeah. Can you talk about that type of culture, giving back to your alma mater or to HBCUs in general? Did that have that type of type of motivation in you to give back? Did Howard
great question
to do with it?
Yeah, great question. So Howard's motto is truth and service. So everything we do does in any industry, it's designed as truth and service. But you said it earlier where you were like the real HU. So everybody knows Howard and Hampton, we fight. We fight. But if an outsider and comes and says something about Hampton, all of a sudden this bison is going to turn into a pirate. That would not go down on our watch. And so it was in me to always want to do something, but there's something, I'm a firm believer, if whatever that thing is that bothers you, that keeps you up at night, just maybe that is the problem that you're called to solve for your life work. It may not be your mainstream work, but it may be your life work. And when I heard that baby's story, I couldn't sleep. I was bothered by it. And I knew then that I had to do something about it. And I want to just qualify, just in case there's any misconception, we don't just move them in to just give them fancy dorm rooms. We walk with them for 4 years. They get monthly care packages from us every month. In fact, we're smack dab in the middle of what we call Adopt a Scholar Week. And that's where our scholars have made Amazon wish lists. We have put it out to the public. We'll get everything ordered for them, and then we'll ship it to them. We take care of them from beginning to end.
You have a big, background and career. Philanthropy is not just all you do. Like I said in the intro, you have a big career in television, and you are award-winning TV producer and editor. how has your connections to the industry helped you be the philanthropist that you are today to help you be successful in Move-In Day Mafia?
I hadn't thought about it until we did bingo, really. And during the bingo, when we did those 4 weeks, I opened my whole phone contacts, or as we used to call it at my age, Rolodex, and made sure that I tapped into every single person that I could get to for the benefit of these kids. And I'm still doing that, which is why on July 12th, we're doing our very first in-person fundraiser where we're taking it back to our roots, and we're doing the HBCU Bingo experience, where Sherry Shepherd is going to be our MC and our celebrity chair of the event. So everything I do, even as a storyteller, when I'm writing emails to our donors, posting on social media, everything I do is through the lens of a story of how do I want people to feel? How do I want them to feel a part of the mission? Because these are not just my kids. We have donors who I call my Mafia miracle makers, and we have volunteers who I call my miracles in motion, that we come together, and there is an onus and a responsibility that these people have taken on for these kids. So it just started with all the layers of what I have done have led to this season of my life.
You know, just about storytelling, and you talk about, you know, the your network. Basically, it's basically networking that you have done. Can you talk about what have you taught, you know, your students that you helped, you know, with this Move-In Day Mafia, nonprofit? What are things that you know, things that people can help? How can people help you, your organization? How can people, you know, spread the message on, you know, people who don't know about college, don't know about, you know, how the foster care system works? What is your message to them?
Mm-hmm. Well, 70%, I always tell them, and it always ends up with, wow, I didn't know that. But 70% of kids in foster care dream of going to college. Only 3% go, 1% graduate. Our kids are beating the odds to go to college. And the stats also show that kids are dropping out of college, not because of academics, but because of money. Howard last year had like 40,000 applications for 2,000 slots. Clark Atlanta had 46,000 applications for 1,200 slots. We moved in 6 Clark Atlanta students. So our kids are not only beating the odds to go to college, but they're getting into elite HBCUs. It is our responsibility as a community, as a culture, to help these kids get to the finish line. And I call them kids because they are my babies. I know they're young adults, but they still are my babies. Shamai, you are one of my babies. But I try to just paint the picture of, let's help take care of them while they're on their way to their dreams. They are in these environments not because of something in their control. Something has happened that has landed them there. Let's not make it worse and actually help them to become productive members of our society, of our HBCU community, because HBCU community are givers. So it will be a cycle that gets passed on and on and on and on.
You know, one thing I really do admire about you as a, you know, not just as, you know, the work that you're doing, your glasses. Every time you make a statement with your glasses of past interviews and your wardrobe. Can you talk about, you know, some people saying, oh, when you're black, you have to be, you know, don't be stand out. When, you know, black people were meant to stand out. How do you own that, you know, with the type of clothes and the type of, you know, frames that you wear? How do you own that?
So I've been wearing glasses since I was 12. I don't think anybody's ever asked me this question. I love it. I've been wearing glasses since I was 12. So for me, if it's a necessity, I need to make it a part of my personality. I did wear contacts for a while and then had some problems where I almost lost my sight. And so if I'm going to wear glasses, they need to be a part of who I am. And I was just thinking about this the other day. Somebody had posted on social media about fashion. And it may look like I'm into fashion, but I couldn't care less about fashion. I have a uniform now. You are going to see me in something about Move-In Day Mafia, which this is us. I believe in miracles for Move-In Day Mafia or something. You're going to see me rock some HBCU earrings or some Move-In Day Mafia earrings. You're going to put me in some, bling Chuck Taylor sneakers and a pair of glasses. I don't have the bandwidth or the time to be coordinating outfits. When I do have to look a lot more decent, my friends come together and tell me you're wearing this.
So your friends helped you for your Sherry Shepherd fit that you wore. Okay,
yes,
that was a good outfit. You have some good friends.
My girl Neva actually designed that outfit that I wore on Sherry. But you saw what did I have? It said Move-In Day Mafia right across the front. So I'm gonna always be on brand because I love people. I am an extrovert with introvert tendencies. So when I leave the house, I know I'm on God's payroll and I'm designed to bring joy. So when I leave the house, there's a switch that literally flips on in me that I know I want to draw people to me so that I can love on them. I've earned the moniker, the world's greatest hugger. I have people standing in line waiting to hug me. That is my ministry. So I know that I want opportunities to draw people to me, and my glasses typically draw people to me, strike up a conversation, and then I get to just love on them.
Oh wow. Well, we love you for coming on here with us here at HBCU News. I appreciate you so much. We gotta network and talk after the show. But thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you. TeeJ Mercer, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you. MoveInDayMafia.org. Make sure you go to volunteer. Our move-in season is coming up. Applications are open. So if you have aged out of foster care or unhoused, or you having severe financial hardships, MoveInDayMafia.org/apply. And you don't have to, we've expanded it. You don't just have to be freshman. You could be at any part of your HBCU journey. Thank you, Shamai. I so appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, you're welcome back anytime. Please come on. I definitely appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. No problem. Well, that does it for our show today. Thank you so much to TeeJ Mercer for joining us. For all of us here at HBCU News and Historically Black Sense, I'm Shamai Cook. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.